Alright people, Kosi, I'm back again, and like I said, 4 videos a day or nothing. 4 videos a day or nothing. It's the Arsenal podcast, and I want us to look at the top 10 transfers we failed to do in the summer, but they could have changed our season. 10 transfers we failed to do this summer, and how they could have changed this season. 10 players we failed to get, and that was like, how I wish we could sign them. How I wish we could just sign them. 10 players. You can give me yours. Which player did you feel like we failed to sign, but we had to sign? I want to get your comments. Which player did we fail to sign, but you felt like we had to sign them? We had to sign him. Which player? Let's get straight into it. Number 1, Aouar. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know how this one failed, because in the towards the deadline day, almost everything was done. It was only Lyon and Arsenal, that agreement with Jean-Michel Aulas is what messed up everything. Lyon wanted around 60 million, and we were only willing to pay around 45 million. The valuation, that was the problem. Personal terms were agreed, everything was agreed. But trust me, if we had signed Aouar, we would be a totally different club. We would have gotten one of the best midfielders in Europe. Best midfielders, 22 years of age, I just like the way he's, he holds that ball, passing that ball, creating chances. We missed out on, I don't know what I could call it, but we missed out on a marquee signing. And trust me, Aouar, one player I'm really going to miss. How I wish we could sign Aouar. Number 2, Marc Roca. Now Roca signed for Bayern Munich. From Espanyol. He's a defensive midfielder, 15 million, and he was one of the players we were linked first to before we were linked with Thomas Partey. And I think if we had signed Marc Roca, because I think he's one of those players that emerged in the news as soon as Mikel Arteta got his job. He's another interesting CDM, just like you would see a Sergio Busquets. He plays like Sergio Busquets. I like his game, his game reading, and he was cheap, 15 million. Probably, if we had signed him, we would have signed Aouar maybe, because maybe Stan Kroenke then would have given us some money. But anyway, we also missed out on Marc Roca. Now he plays with Bayern Munich. He's a Bayern Munich player. 3, Coutinho. Now there were lots of stories about Coutinho, him coming to London, talking to Arsenal, agreeing personal terms. Of course, we know the manager or agent, Kiadi Rapchin, is one good friend of Edu and one good friend of Raul Sanelli, the former CEO at Arsenal. And all of us thought maybe that connection, the Brazilian connection with Edu and all those things, maybe we could have gotten a player like Coutinho, but somehow he didn't sign. I think the new management at Barcelona, changed everything, and Ronald Koeman, being recruited as new manager, he decided to give every player a chance. So Coutinho ended up at Barcelona. Arsenal wanted to go for him for a loan deal, which was around 9 to 10 million. Probably, he would give us something different. He has the pace, he has the skills, the passing is okay. Premier League proven. He has been at Liverpool before. You don't know what it means to have a player like Coutinho. You don't know what it feels like to have a player like Coutinho. I'm one of those people who are already, laughing just thinking about having Coutinho in our squad. It would be completely different. Just imagine Coutinho with Thomas Partey. That would be the best. 4 is Boubakary Soumaré. Boubakary Soumaré is another CDM with Lille Motripo. He was a player linked with us, just in case Thomas Partey didn't sign. And you know, of course, Partey signed on deadline day. But I think if we had failed to get Thomas Partey and we got, so you know, Boubakary Soumaré, he's young. He's around 21, 22 years of age, so he would need a lot of time and so on. But he would be another player who would just fit into our midfield, and he would bring a lot of confidence in that midfield, especially when you have Granit Xhaka and Danny Ceballos, who seem very, very lost when Arsenal doesn't have the ball. I think Boubakary Soumaré would have been a great addition as well. Number 5 is another CDM we were linked to, who's Amadou Diawara. Now this one plays with Roma. He was valued at around £27 million. Roma were willing to sell, the player was willing to join Arsenal as well, but Mikel Arteta didn't really seem to have a lot of interest in the player. He was, I think, the last option. Like you would say, if I don't get Partey, I don't get Soumaré, I don't get Marc Roca, I'll go for Diawara. But you know, like I say, I looked at his statistics. You know, in the transfer window, we were talking about him. His statistics were way too good, just as those of Thomas Partey. He's not a baller as Thomas Partey. That's the only problem, because Partey is a baller. And Mikel Arteta was saying today that he can play in different positions and add something very special. I think the only difference Diawara has is this. He's a bit traditional, and Partey is a bit modern and advanced. But I think Diawara is another player we missed signing. If we had brought him in, probably sit on the bench and wait for Partey. How do you think? For squad depth, he would have been another great addition. Number 6 is Dayot Upamecano. Now Upamecano is a defender with RB Leipzig. You know that. We were linked with him, and we had to pay £50 million for his services, which we were not willing to pay. Probably we didn't have it. We ended up going with Gabriel Magalhaes, which decision Arsenal doesn't really regret. As a fan, I don't regret not going for Upamecano, because Gabriel Magalhaes has already shown us that, guys, I'm here, I can do this and I can do it perfectly. But Upamecano is one of the best defenders in the world right now. Best defenders in Europe, highly rated. You can see, you have seen him in the France national team. You have seen him in the Champions League. You have seen him with play with RB Leipzig. If you watch the German Bundesliga, he's one player you think if he had joined Arsenal, he was gonna correct that defense like no one would ever. I'm not really saying that the signings we made in the defense are not perfect, but I'm saying if it was Dayot Upamecano, he would have added a lot, strength-wise, aerial balls. He's a bowler as well. It would be fantastic to see Dayot Upamecano play with us. But of course, like I said, it was the price, £50 million, and then he signed another long contract with the club itself, RB Leipzig. The other player is Odsonne Edouard. Now, we have been linked with Odsonne Edouard. This is the second time. Celtic value him at around 40 million, 45, because he's a good player. He's French as well. Arsenal tried to go for him, but Celtic wanted more money that we could offer, because for us we wanted to give them 16 million quid, and I think add them around 9 million, which would make them which would make it less than 45, of course. Celtic wanted more money, but like I say, Aubameyang needs a player who can help him out. Aubameyang needs a player who can score more goals. If you have a player like Odsonne Edouard, great talent, one for the future, but he can score for you 15 goals. Aubameyang scores for you 18-20 goals. You're moving forward. Eddie Nketiah and Lacazette, can they do that? We are waiting for them, but Odsonne Edouard to the front line, he would have been another awesome addition. Wilfried Zaha. Now, Zaha was linked to Arsenal, and everyone ran crazy. I don't know why you guys really love Wilfried Zaha. He was linked with us, in a swap deal that would see Reece Nelson crossover to Crystal Palace, and Zaha crossover to Arsenal. It is still possible. It is still possible. If we didn't have Pepe, not Partey. If we didn't have Pepe, I would go for Wilfried Zaha. He has really proven at Crystal Palace, Premier League proven, scores the goals, has the pace, creates the chances. He's an entertainer, and he's one player you would want to see on a big club like Arsenal. However, he didn't get the chance. He's a player that really loves, to play with Arsenal, but he didn't get the chance. But I think if he had joined us, he would have been such a nice addition, a great addition. What do you think? There is another player in the names of Jorginho, the Chelsea midfielder. This one, I have doubts about what he would bring to Arsenal, but probably the truth is he's slightly better than what we have. Jorginho, you know, I've seen Manchester City die to sign him. Mikel Arteta, you know, was under Pep Guardiola, so probably if he had joined us, then Mikel Arteta would have brought out the best in him. When you look at his Chelsea career, you cannot really say that, you know, he's one of the players that have really become bangs. He's not really banging, but there are times when players are inside that squad and their importance is only realized when they get to the bed or when they get injured. You know, those kind of, you know, silently important players. So probably if we had signed him and Mikel Arteta, you know, got his man, probably we would have seen a change. We would have seen a change, you know, in the Arsenal midfield. But still, like I say, he's just slightly better than what we have. Number 10 is Malang Sarr. Now, Malang Sarr finally signed for Chelsea. He was a free transfer man. I don't know why we did go for him. I don't know why we did, you know, why we eventually didn't go for him. Actually, him and another man called Axel Dizazi. Those are the two players we were first linked with as defenders, Axel Dizazi and Malang Sarr. The first two players we were linked with as, you know, centre backs. All of us thought, you know, we might sign Dizazi or Malang Sarr, but none of them eventually signed. Dizazi was only 12 million. Maybe Mikel Arteta thought about it and is like, no, this isn't the kind of player I want. Sarr was a free agent, like I said. He signed for Chelsea and he has gone out on loan to FC Porto. If we had signed Sarr, I think what he adds to defense would be that energetic presence. He's, you know, this kind of player who's really energetic and firm, but eventually didn't sign, and as well as Axel Dizazi. So those are the players I thought we missed out in this summer, and they could have brought a difference at Arsenal. Number 1 is Aouar. Number 2 is Marc Roca. Number 3 is Coutinho, Boubacar Soumare, Amadou Diawara, Dayot Upamecano, Malang Sarr, Odsonne Edouard, Wilfried Zaha, and Jorginho. Forget about players like, you know, Sizobozlai and the others. I think these are the players that should have signed. If only we could sign 3 or 4 of these, it would have been a nice summer. Have a good stay on the channel. Love you so much.